The Federal Aviation Administration is shutting down flights all over the country, but mostly in the high-traffic, high-volume airports. Now that definitely includes Orlando. How badly will the theme parks be affected? As the traffic controllers say, we're staying at home until we get paid. Is the shutdown end on the way? Or will Disney World and Universal perhaps suffer a very sad Thanksgiving and unmerry Christmas this year? Hello folks, and welcome back. Come near, for another video of excellence is on the way. Today we're diving into the Mouse House as well as Seuss's Landing, or I guess Harry Potter. They've got everything at Universal. Mario, number one. The question is, will the theme parks in Orlando feel like number ones now that flights are being canceled all across the country? Today we'll tell you how it's going to affect those holiday vacays and whether or not it's enough to keep people staying away from the theme parks. Click the like button and let's dive in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, out of the Associated Press, the FAA, what is that? The Federal Aviation the Federal Aviation Administration. Reducing, I got there eventually. The old neurons started firing once more. Hey, synapses, well played. The FAA reducing air traffic by 10% across 40 high-volume markets during government shutdown. Now, what you need to know, ladies and gentlemen, is that not all high-volume markets are equal. So if it's high-volume markets that have business, sometimes those might be of a higher priority than travel destinations of high volume. If you see where I'm going with this, let's talk about it. The Federal Aviation Administration said Wednesday that it would reduce air traffic by 10% across 40 high-volume markets beginning Friday morning to maintain travel safety as air traffic controllers exhibit signs of strain during the ongoing government shutdown. Now, you can assume that this is going to be places like Atlanta, this is going to be New York, this is going to be D.C., etc. Texas as well, Dallas-Fort Worth. Not only, you got to remember that when it comes to traveling for vacations, it's not necessarily whether Orlando is one of these prime locations that gets cut. It's that all the feeder systems coming into Orlando are getting cut. That's a big deal. The cutback stands to impact thousands of flights nationwide because the FAA directs more than 44,000 flights daily, including commercial passenger flights, cargo planes, and private aircraft. The head of the FAA didn't immediately identify which airports will be affected, but said the restrictions would remain in place as long as necessary. Air traffic controllers have been working unpaid since the shutdown began October 1st, and most have been on duty 6 days a week while putting in mandatory overtime. Now, we all know that probably the Democrats are going to let up on this thing pretty soon because it was a great tool to use before the election, but it's losing some of the luster, I would say. That said, until it goes away, this could be a real hit on Disney and on Universal. One winner, well, there are a few winners in this, but theme parks that aren't dependent on air traffic as much, they're going to be actually, I think, bolstered a little bit by this. You can think of a few. Dollywood would be one of them, for example. Silver Dollar City is going to be on there. All the theme parks in California, I think, are okay because they're mostly regional, but they're regional in a state that has 40 million people in it, so they're going to be fine and dandy. But specifically, the Orlando theme parks, I think, could suffer greatly from this. What are your thoughts on the idea that people might have to cancel vacations over the government shutdown now?
And at a time when Disney was just crushing it with bringing people to the parks.
No, just crushing it every single day, crushing it, baby.
What an incredible turn of events for the Walt Disney Company and for, well, unfortunately, Epic Universe as well could be impacted by this, right? It's everything where people have to travel long distances, and it's very expensive. But you have things like the Zootopia attraction that people are looking forward to going and, I guess, petting. Perhaps this is a good thing because it's going to put people into a position where they have to look elsewhere for other things to do. And I'm happy to hear if Disney, maybe takes a loss or two here and there, because when they take losses here and there, they have to improve their experiences. They have to improve what they're offering. So, perhaps it all works out in the end. I'm looking on the bright side of this. A couple of families going somewhere else instead of Disney helps whatever economy they travel to, but also puts Disney in a position where they need to start improving.
Lauren, is it any surprise now that they've turned to Georgia? Not just Florida, Georgia. They're now offering 50% off many of their hotels to Georgians to get on down there, drive on down to Florida and enjoy those Disney hotels?
Well, I mean, you try and make up the loss where you can. I was wondering maybe if this would be more of a problem for Universal than Disney because fewer people are coming to Disney in the first place, like Wizard was saying. At that point, it may be that it just sort of levels off at a consistent level that matches what the demand actually is. I don't think that we'll know until they actually get into reducing those flights, but I think that the impact could be greater on Universal because more people are going to be flocking there.
Right. There's going to be way more people traveling to Universal, and it makes sense. But since I was there recently, Lauren, have you gone yet?
No, I haven't. No, my son did, but I haven't.
Your son did. Yeah, but so when I was there, the big takeaway for me was you need the fast pass in order to be able to ride anything in Epic because there's just that many people there, and the rides, because it's still so new, the rides are breaking down all of the time. So perhaps not going now. I'm trying to look at this on the upside. Not going now has its advantages. Hopefully you're saving money in the long run, but the park could only get better as time goes on.
Well, one of the things that I've suggested is I wish that Universal would split Epic into 2 sessions a day, a daytime pass and a nighttime pass. There are some of the lands there really need to be experienced in the evening, and I wish there was an option to go in at like 8 p.m. and stay till 2 a.m. The Dark Universe stuff, man. And the Harry Potter area really looks cool at night. So does Mario. I want to go though, guys. We've got a. I don't guess I'd call him a scooper, but Tom Bricker over at Disney Tourist Blog, maybe he needs to apply for his scooper license because this guy is prescient. I don't know if he's Nostradamus. Get it? Nostradamus. Anyway, plan for long delays flying to Disney World soon. How did he know this on Halloween, October 31st? How did you know this, Tom? How did you predict this? It's amazing. It's amazing. Folks, if we go to thrillData.com and we look at the what we believe is attendance, it's actually the wait times, the average wait times across all of Disney World, but we correlate it to crowd levels. If you look at this, you all, listen, it's now at the point where you don't need us to walk you through it. You can see the rise and the dips are dipping downward, and you can see that every year is worse than the year before. This is going to be rough. If there aren't flights going to Orlando at the same level that they need, then this is going to drive down 2025. And, at least it's an excuse Bob Iger can trot out to shareholders next time and say, well, we had moderated demand because we had moderated flights coming into Orlando. That's what they'll go with. They'll blame it on the orange man. Makes them happy every time they get to do it. Guys, final thoughts on the theme parks. Maybe Dollywood and the California parks are going to do just great for this because people will go to the places they can drive to more easily.
Actually, that's a question I have because I don't really know. When it comes to traffic at Dollywood, is that more local, kind of a regional thing, or do people fly in to visit that park as well?
People do fly into Dollywood. The thing about Dollywood is it's centrally located east of the Mississippi. So if you think about where it's at in eastern Tennessee, you've got Kentucky, you've got West Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina. I need a geography award for this. Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi. It's a little bit away from Arkansas. In fact, Florida is probably about the same distance as Arkansas from it. But you got a lot of states and you got a lot of metropolitan areas that are within a half day's drive to Dollywood. That's why it benefits. On the California side, you got a state of 40 million people. Plus, it's not so far away to Phoenix. So you can get over there to Knott's Berry Farm and Disneyland and all of that. So those parks, I think they're heavily rewarded. Whereas the parks that are down in Orlando, you guys know if you're driving into Florida, it's like a 4-hour drive from the moment you cross the state line until you get to Orlando even still. And most people have to go through Georgia, and it just lasts forever. It just lasts forever to go through Georgia. And if you got lucky and went through South Carolina, stop at Charleston on the way. So that's the answer on that one. Fair, guys? You think that's fair?
Yeah, I mean, I would be excited for Dollywood, but your point exactly is Dollywood is drivable. It's perceived as drivable for a lot of places throughout the country. Disney World isn't. Even when you are on the northern side of Florida, it's like, well, it's still 4 hours away. And it's not even the best drive at all. But I'm excited to see what happens, or do we see an uptick in Dollywood visits? Because there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people all over the country that have said, "Oh, Dollywood, I've always wanted to go." And then they never do because they end up going to Disney or Universal. So this is exactly the opportunity that a park like Dollywood needs to capture those people that have always said, "Oh, I wanted to go," and then haven't.
Yeah. We got to take you, Wiz. We got to take you sometime to Dollywood and maybe down to Disney as well. All right, folks, let us know. Are you going to be thinking about this coming November and December? We're in November right now, but are you going to be thinking about it as we get towards Turkey Day and to the festivities of the holidays? Will this affect your vacation coming up? Let us know in the comments and tell us, is this a time that you're worried about, or does the shutdown end just in time to save Mickey Mouse and his Christmas plans? The Hollyweirds don't understand how it is we do what we do, bringing you video after video every single day of the utmost highest excellence and quality. But folks, we do it because of you. We appreciate you. You are seen and heard here on the Pro Channel. Make your voices heard, folks, by doing one last thing before we say goodbye for a short time. Consider clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, and you know what? That notification bell, click it and stick it to the algorithms. Also, drop a comment down below and let us know your thoughts. And don't forget, folks, we've got even more content on the way. If you'd like to become a member, it's just the price of a soda per month, and you'll gain access to all kinds of exclusive content beyond what the public sees, including archival footage of the Pro Show that goes away after just a few days from its public release. Folks, we hope we get the honor of spending time with you again soon, and until then, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Jump into the water. Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun. Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio. What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.